I absolutely love seeing the dynamic of your relationship on the show. It had me being like, oop, so many times. But oftentimes I feel like with Black love, we're hearing the men say they don't feel supported, while the women want the men to step their game up. So in reality, do you guys think there's some truth that Black women are putting Black men in a box and not allowing them to fully express themselves?
Um, well, I feel like there's so many representations of Black relationships on this show, which is why I love it. It's not just one form of one relationship that we're looking at. Our situation with Renee and Jason, they're at this place in their marriage where they made an agreement that this is the way they were going to live. And they went to these Ivy League schools and they have these great jobs and this beautiful brownstone in Harlem, successfully living. And, he has a change in his career and he wants to dream and step out of the box a little bit, but on the it's on the footsteps of Renee. It kind of surprises her a little bit because he's saying, hey, I want to do this. I've already done it, actually. I didn't communicate with you. And so I feel like the support and everything there might have been there because she could have planned, and one thing I said about her, and I didn't really take into consideration before, Black women, well, not just Black women, just women, if you don't have that generational wealth type of thing, we plan for success. We order our steps in success. And so we save for a rainy day, but we ain't trying to lift you up in a rainy day, so when we talk about men showing up and doing more, if there was communication there and honesty, we wouldn't feel so betrayed when we've already given 100%. And then you have another thing that you're trying to do on the other side, and you didn't communicate that with me. And I feel like that's what Renee is going through. And I totally related to that because being in relationships now, being successful and beautiful, I agreed to my lifestyle. I live nice. Okay. You knew what it was when you showed up. You liked it. So why are we acting like we don't know what it is?
Girl, preach. Everything you said, yes.
I get my hair done, I get my nails done every week. What? You know what it is. You know where my budget is. You know where we like it.
I love that. All right. But Jay, although we're talking about mostly women in the show, the focus is on the women, we also get introduced to the men as well. And I just want to ask you, out of the male characters that are introduced, is there one that is more relatable to you?
I mean, by default, Jason is the most relatable because the guy's just super similar to me. Like, straight up, I was like, oh, this is just me with a few different life choices. And I would be in that same 30-year-old crisis had I chosen a path in business instead of where I am now. So I can completely 100% relate to Jason.
All right.
But on the flip side, my heart is with Ola in every single second of this show. I get it. I understand. I know.
All right. It's relatable. Relatable. Okay.
Poor
and then Bresha, Renee is a firecracker. She's giving me Cookie Lyons from Empire. And I definitely appreciate her comedic relief at times. But are there certain traits of Renee that you wish you can use in your real life?
Oh my God, such a great question. I'm so much like Renee in my real life. I'm fiery and I'm fun and loud and I'm the crazy one out of my friendships. My middle name is Renee. So when you said Bresha Renee, I was like, yeah. So I have so many, I'm a Taurus, and they said a Chihuahua in heels. I was like, I have a Chihuahua and I wear heels. So yeah, you're talking to me. But one thing I love about Renee and that I'm applying to my life is that even while you're going through the stress, and the struggle, she has this thing where she's showing everyone how great and perfect and how put together. She's the one that's, hey, what are we doing today? How was your day? Ba, 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 let me help you. A very Taurus thing. But also cracking at the surface and really, really scared to show that vulnerability and to show that she's teetering off the edge. She always finds a way to make a joke, which is a lot like myself. But one thing I love about Renee and that I'm doing is therapy, and finding ways to, really get that fixed and try to approach it and have people tell you the truth about who you are and what you're hiding. And also twirling through the problems. Like, she's dressing up, she's still doing her own process. You will not see her looking drabby, not 1 second, never. And that is her way of coping through it and also hiding it. But hey, why not twirl and have fun while you're going through the mess? Be the pink in the tornado. Okay.
Exactly. I love that they also show that all the girls are going to therapy, but that is all the time I have today. I could actually talk about the show forever. Guys, I'm so excited for you guys, the whole cast. I can't wait for everyone to see it so I can talk to other people about it.
Oh, goody. Great.
I'm sorry. But that's all. Thank you.
Well, get better. Get better.
I want my real voice to shine through, but it's okay. It's all right.
This was real sexy. I feel like
it sounds great no matter what.
Very Toni Braxton.
Thank you, guys. Bye. In the process of creating these 4 different unique characters, did you pull any inspiration from actual women in your life? And do any of the women actually embody how you see yourself?
I absolutely stole from all of my friends. They were hopefully I still have friends when this is over. They're very much informed by my girlfriends. I went to Spelman College, and so Black women are just, all over my life. And I have 2 brothers, and so making real great, authentic female friendships has always been something I take very seriously. And so all of these girls are informed by all of the amazing women that I've had the honor to know and share my life with. And so I'm super excited for them to come to life. I think in terms of which one is most like me, Ella was who, took on a lot of my journey in terms of career. And Sandy's probably the one who mirrors my attitude.
All right. In that case, I really want to be friends with the women in your life because all of them are amazing. But is there any concern that this show can be compared to Girlfriends or even Sex and the City?
No concern for me. I think it's really fun and really cool. Every generation deserves their show that, depicts their relationships and what it feels like to be, a modern, successful woman striving for the best, and this is, our show, this is our version. And I think to be compared to any of those shows is an honor. And I'm just so excited to be, another entry into that canon of amazing television that, supports and celebrates women.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited for this generation. They needed it. But while the series is centered around the Black female experience, the male characters do mention the plight of the Black man. And as supportive as Black women are of Black men, do you think that we also still undermine the difficulties they face on their journey to success?
I hope that the audience feels that these relationships between these men and women are really balanced and really, healthy. I think that even in that conversation, you're seeing 2 people that love each other who have kind of grown distant, really trying to negotiate how to be there for each other and what it means if they can't, and I think that we have to come to our relationships and know that we're living different experiences, but we all are carrying the burdens and carrying the weights. And so I think, a lot of the conversation about the relationships in the show is how do you balance those things and give each other what we need without sacrificing or settling for less than what we deserve?
I love it. That was an amazing answer. It's so true, by the way.
That was the first time someone asked me that question. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was like you were ready. But no, I just found that dynamic and that conversation really interesting. So I appreciate you putting that in the show. Corbin, I absolutely love your character. She seems the most about the sisterhood, but do you find it challenging to actually have or build strong female bonds as an adult?
That's such a good question. Um, I have about 6 great friends, 6 really solid friends. I've never been a person that's had like a ton of friends. I'm not like everyone's my friend. I have 6 solid friendships and I treat those people like they're my family. Um, it took me a while to like find my people. It's not something that I take lightly. Do I think it's difficult? Yes, because I've actually gone through, I have very high expectations from my friendships, right? Like, so I do think that makes it difficult. And I just feel like the older you get, like people just they've got their own thing going on, and like it gets harder to get out in the world. And like, I think the older you get, like I feel like if you talk to anybody, it's like making friends, period, gets harder. So like I have one great girlfriend that I've known since I was like 6 years old, and we've stayed friends, up until now. And then like I have friends from college, and I have a couple that I just met in New York. But like those are such different points in my life. So I guess the answer to that is yeah, I think it definitely comes with like challenges. But when you find them, it's worth the challenge.
I just love watching the dynamic on screen. I'm like, wow, these are 4 great friends as adults. They're just playing all day.
It's enviable for sure.
Yeah. But each of the characters have a different obstacle in their relationship. And your guys' biggest one was the fact that the relationship is basically forbidden. How much is this going to play a factor in the relationship?
Well, I mean, I think that it's always in the background. You know what I mean? It's something that even when you're in public, not at school, you have to be aware of what you're doing. And so that's kind of a constant background noise that you have to deal with. And sometimes it's not so easy to remember that. You know what I mean? You're trying to live your life, and at the same time, you're trying to protect a secret. And sometimes you get, people tend to get free and forget where they are, So I think that's something that we're going to have to manage. And I think that might be something that we have to deal with throughout.
Also, like the stakes are very high. Like he could lose his job. I could get kicked out of school. When you think about it, it's kind of reckless. And for my character, like she doesn't do reckless stuff. So I think the decision to like move forward says a lot about them as a couple. I think it says a lot about like, because you could look at a relationship, a clandestine relationship, as like the excitement is just like the affair, or like, they're not having an affair, but like the idea that it's in secret is like what really keeps it going. And it's like, they're actually willing to blow up their professional lives potentially to like make this work, which just speaks to like how into each other they are.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then just one last question. But in this day and age, Black love seems to be a protest in itself. Do you believe that Black love is as challenging as it appears, or are we just not giving enough credit to the Black love that exists now and that has always existed?
Corbin, I'm going to let you take that one. The recently engaged Corbin Reid.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there is a lot of trauma that goes on, just a part of being Black in general, like in a date, like the mental sort of like, I mean, look, every day there's a new news story about a reason why we are experiencing emotional trauma. So there's that, and there's can be trauma in Black families and all these things, but like, sometimes I think we focus a little bit too much on that. And like you said, don't look enough to like all of the positive that's going on. I'm really blessed and fortunate. I'm in a relationship that I've been in for 5 years. We're engaged, we're happy. Like, it's nice to be portraying something like that on screen where it's not like, oh, this woman can't get a man, she can't find a man, she's got to, like, it's a struggle. It's like none of the women on this show are going through that. This show is not about, can I get a man, can I keep a man? Like, it's, and I have to say, like, I know a lot of women Black women, you know, my girlfriends who are in successful relationships in Black love relationships. So it exists, but sometimes I do think we have a tendency as a community to focus on that too much and not celebrate the success stories.